I'm getting to the album now. L'Insouciance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
Um, so when I assume then that feeling is the same that you get from writing it down and performing those songs.
Yeah. So those songs I've written. So this album was released like this or in
Yes.
2016, and yeah, it's songs that I've been writing since I would say 2014 or
Okay.
something, and yeah, it's a bunch of love songs, sad
Mhm.
love songs, some happy love songs as well, but they are not 100% happy when they're happy.
Sure. When you write these songs and you say they're
Yeah.
about love, do you have somebody in mind?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Not all the time. Oh, well, I always have somebody in mind, but it's not necessarily a love story that I would have experienced myself.
Sure, sure.
I can picture in the eyes of a girl that I just talked to for 3 minutes that there is a story in her eyes that I want. I don't know her story at all, but I'm like, okay, I think I've got something to write about what I
Right,
saw
right.
in her eyes.
So this is probably wrong, but then, for instance, with a song like Josephine,
Yeah.
is she a real person? Is
She's
that
not a
based
real
on-
person at
Okay.
all. No,
Okay.
but yeah, it's the story of a girl who's pretending to be happy, but I can feel like inside of her there is some sadness and
Right.
stuff, and yeah.
But this feeling for storytelling, then I believe that is kind of what you do then, and then in the tradition of the American songwriters, but then
Yeah.
also the French. So it's the kind of telling a story in a short.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what is really interesting with songs, because it's not a novel, it's not a
Right.
poem, and so there are, you have to try to be short,
Mm.
and but the power of a song can be way bigger than the power of a poem, for example, because first of all you sing it, so you have people listening to you. The emotion comes from the words, but not only. The way you sing it is part of the emotion, the way your chords and stuff. So yeah, that's really, it's a tricky work
Right.
to write songs, but it's also very, very exciting.
Right. And then, well, you also touch upon this a little bit, that Townes van Zandt wasn't very famous in French, France.
Yeah.
I don't think he's very famous anywhere.
Yeah.
So going into this music, did you have any expectations of where you could play or those kind of things?
No, not really. Well, first of all, I realized that folk and country music in France, it's not big at all in general. And of course, Townes van Zandt is not the biggest name in folk and country music,
Sure.
so nobody knows about him. Or
Right.
in Paris a little bit, but it's very few people. But first of all, I realized that I liked those genres a lot, folk and country,
Right.
and so I started listening to a lot of different artists that I had never heard of before, and but yeah, the thing is, when I started writing in French, that's interesting. People who knew a bit of folk and country music, they were like, "Oh, okay, that sounds cool. It's like folk music in French." But people who didn't know anything about folk music, they were like, "Oh, that sounds cool. That sounds like French chanson."
Right. Right.
So I was like, "Well, that's cool. If I can, people can just pick anything they want in my music, and that's fine for me."
And obviously we live now in a world with Spotify and
Yeah.
YouTube and on social media and all those kind of things. So what have you noticed about how people, and maybe in particular younger people, respond to your music?
Well, that's a big challenge. I know that when you write like some kind of poetical lyrics and stuff, of course your audience at first will probably more like 30 and more, but I realized that more and more it's not the case, and especially I had a big concert in Paris last month, and it was a lot of people from 20 to 50 years old, and I find that pretty exciting, because when I write songs, I'm not asking myself, well, it's a song that would be for people who are 45 years old,
Right,
or
right.
18 years old, or whatever.
Right.
Songs, they have to be universal. I think when you write a song, you write it for anybody, and So yeah, I like the idea that young people like my music, and I also like the idea with Spotify that people anywhere in the world can have access to my music, even though it's in French.
Right.
And yeah, I have the chance to play this festival in Holland tonight. I had the chance to play a festival in Austin, Texas 2 years ago, South by Southwest.
Right.
And I've been amazed by the fact that even though people don't understand a shit of what you're saying, they can still feel some emotion
Sure.
while you sing. And that's interesting because in France, you know, it's a lot of people who love Bob Dylan, Leonard Cohen and stuff. But French people, as you may know, most of us, we don't speak English very well. So people like Bob Dylan and Townes and Leonard Cohen. Most of them, they don't understand half of what they're saying.
Okay.
But they feel the emotion for other reasons.
Right.
And I found it very exciting to see that it could work the other way around. You know, singing my songs in French in front of people who don't understand French.
Well,
So yeah.
Well, finally then, because this is I think very interesting. If you do you have a memory of maybe somebody said to you that listens to your music in America, because you are influenced by American music. So
Yeah.
is there maybe who might not have understood what you were saying, but did people come up to you at South by Southwest or?
Yeah, absolutely. And well, the thing is, like, my chords are pretty folky, so I got the chance to play with some bluegrass musicians from Austin, in Austin. And so for them, they understood the music very well. They were like, okay, I know what you're doing. I don't know what you're saying, but I know what you're doing.
Right.
And on a few songs I have a few songs that are pretty emotional or stuff. There were some people coming to me after the show and telling me, well, your song Hervé, for example, I liked it a lot. I don't know what you're saying in it, but I felt like there was something. And I was like, well, that's cool, because that's actually a song where something pretty sad happens. It's cool that you felt it.
Okay. Very last question then, because you kind of reminded me of something, but when you perform, is it a very emotional thing for you, performing live?
Yes, or it has to be at least.
Okay.
When I sing my songs, I want to feel them, and it's not easy all the time because it depends on the situation.
Sure.
Sometimes you're very stressed, but yeah, I try to really feel every word that I'm saying, and I think I like that a lot because it's another way to present your songs to the audience. It's not the same as a recording.
Sure.
And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to being on stage tonight, for example, in front of people who won't understand my lyrics, I know. But I will try to do my best so that they feel some emotion inside them.
I wish you very good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.